We finally did it! Episode 200! Woo! 200! Amazing! Thanks, guys, for watching my stuff all the way through episode 200. But yeah, let's talk about Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, number 4. And we have Space Ghost, number 9. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we are now jumping into our 200th episode. I'm basically do 2 comics every single episode. And I am going to start something new where I'm going to be doing a ranking of the books for the week. The books that I read anyway. All right, so let's jump into Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, number 4. I keep forgetting the absolute part. So this is by Kelly Thompson. This is a version of Diana where she was raised by Cersei in hell. The gods basically put her there as a little spanking to her mother or whatever else, where they took her away from her. We don't really know why at this point. But also Steve Trevor ended up in hell, which is extremely random. So she had to make a sacrifice to the gods to have Steve Trevor leave hell. So she sacrificed her own arm, which is extremely weird. And in the last issue, Cersei was creating her lasso, but then her arm is magical. So when it got caught by the monster, it disappeared, and she put this like random mechanical arm on that she basically took out of her butt. I don't know. Where was she keeping this arm? I have no idea. So now she needs to get her arm back. So I hate the artwork in here with a passion. I know he's trying to make it look very Greek, but it just doesn't work. There's no detail to this, just none. But anyway, this is Etta Candy and her sister, who apparently her sister is a witch, just off the cuff. So see the mechanical arm? Where did that come from? And look how bad Steve. I mean, that's something that's a child draws in junior high school, man. Anyway, not a fan. If anything, the artwork is going to make me what's going to be dropping this book. So anyway, she says she needs her art back, but she needs certain ingredients to be able to do the spell. And you just happen to have them, of course. I didn't like the whole first half of this issue and then she's running around the kitchen finding stuff. Did I really need that in this big splash panel? Not really. So the whole first half of the issue is her getting the ingredients back to do a spell to get her arm back. And she gets splattered with blood and all this other stuff and getting her magical arm back. And then we get, the best written line in existence here where she says, I need to get my arm, blah, blah, blah. And she says, yeah, right here. She says, an arm is a good thing to have. What? What? I just want you to know I would never write a line of dialogue like that, ever. And then we get Cersei basically praying to the gods for some kind of an audience about the child, and we get a god show up. That, this is where she is basically becoming Diana's mother, really, for the first time. And then we go on to something else. Okay, we're done with that. Why is that in there? I don't know. But anyway, she got her arm back, and she's covered with blood, and she wipes her face. So now we're halfway through the issue, and nothing has happened. Nothing. Except getting her arm back, which we could have done in 2 pages. So she flies over to where the bad guy is, this big kaiju that's sending out this, siren type of song, and that's why she had to put a barrier over it because she didn't want anybody to hear it. And she pulls this big sword out of her ass along with where the metal arm now went back to, I guess. And this is where it just gets really, really silly. So we have, I don't even know what that panel is. I don't know. I guess it's talking to her in this siren type of thing. So she makes the sword grow. Little Viagra on my sword and you'll be good. And now she's carrying this thing. Look at the size of the sword. Come on, man. That is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So anyway, so the Pegasus is blowing fire at it and giving it some kind of, giving her the space she needs to be able to surprise it. And I don't know why she didn't do this from the first friggin' 5 minutes that she was there instead of letting all this happen. But she ends up being able to swing this massive sword and cuts the thing in half. That's so stupid. That actually looks like that artwork there of the sword makes it look like the American flag. I don't know what. Anyway, it's completely silly. Of all the issues, this is the worst. So then we get, I guess, the future villain. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing this or not. I'm not overly thrilled about it. So that's it for Absolute Wonder Woman. Kelly. This is what Kelly Thompson does more times than not. Like, she'll start off a story really good, and then she just cannot stick a landing. She just can't stick it. I read her Captain Marvel for 50 issues, and some of them were painful. They were so bad. So, I'll see what the next storyline is, and then I'll see if the artwork changes. But if not, I'm probably going to jump ship on it. I already jumped ship on the original Wonder Woman thing, which is unfortunate. I really want to collect a Wonder Woman book, but nothing is really knocking my socks off here. How do you take a massive character like that and just screw it up right and left? Anyway, before we go on to Space Ghost, remember too that I am a writer myself. I write comic books and novels as well. In fact, you can see some of them behind me. And I'm on Amazon.com. You just search my name, and you'll see that I have a sci-fi quadrilogy. I have a fantasy book, which again you can see behind me. I have a Holocaust biography book, true story, and I have a horror book, like a supernatural thriller, like Sixth Sense on there, called The Awakening. I'm also on Audible with a audio book for Destiny Aurora, which is the sci-fi one, and then all my graphic novels are up there as well. I hooked up with Moonstone Books. We're going to have, if you're interested in writing, we're going to have a bunch of people on a live stream this Thursday at 8 p.m. EST and 5 p.m. PST. But we're going to be, it's a 90th anniversary Green Hornet anthology. And this is not it. We're going to be a hardcover. This is just the stuff they've done in the past because they own the rights to it. And one of the main writers is Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn for Star Wars. Also Kevin J. Anderson, who wrote for Dune. And just a pile of people. The cover art is by Matt Wagner from Batman and Grendel. We have over 350 people following it right now because the Thursday live stream event is going to be basically a send-off or for a launch for our Kickstarter. So we're going to be celebrating our Kickstarter launch. And just go to greenhornetnoir.com. It'll take you to the Green Hornet Anthology Kickstarter, and you can sign up for notifications. But when we launch, because we're going to have early bird specials and things like that, or you can click the link in the description below And the link there also has my Amazon in it and the live stream link. I also have a QR code as well. All right, definitely check that out. It's going to be lots of fun. And we're going to be doing giveaways and all that stuff as well. All right, let's jump into Space Ghost. This is my favorite comic that comes out every month. I think I'm not really a fan of David Propose's writing in general, because he did do that Punisher thing, and now he's going to be doing Captain Planet, which I hear is one of his most favorite characters. But the thing, I've never been a Captain Planet fan anyway, but they gave him a beard and stuff like that. It looks really strange. But anyway, so this is continuing the Metalis storyline, and Metalis is the one that basically destroyed his world and killed his family. So he's kind of in vengeance mode and basically got captured. And then Metalis threw him over this cliff, right? But we didn't see what happened to him from there. The kids, who he basically gave them the ability of watching this happen. So now they're trying to go over there and get to Space Ghost to see if he's still alive, etc. So then they get there. The whole planet is under siege, a Federation planet, and they're going there to try to save people, which is great. That I like how Propose gives each character something to do. And then we see Metalis right there, and his ship is just bombarding the surface. And then they get a little beep, 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 beep. And he's like, what is that? And he's like, I don't know. We have some kind of problem in the docking bay area. And he's like, well, go check it out. And he's like, okay, I'll go check it out. Do I have your leave? Yeah, just go, man, already. Quit asking. So when he gets there, he finds one of the robots saying, oh, yeah, we got a problem. The door is open. And if we keep the door open, then we're going to have structural damage. And he's like, what? This is what you call me down here for? A broken hinge? What the hell, dude? You got to report to, to the lab and get yourself reprogrammed. And suddenly Space Ghost comes out. You will not kill a ghost. And he knocks the head off the thing and then strangles the other guy. I don't know if he just knocks him out or kills him. I don't know which. But he looks pretty pissed at this point. So Space Ghost has his, I don't know how he lived. I kind of hate when they do this. They infer that the villain killed, the hero, but suddenly he's back. We don't find out how or anything else. He just comes out of nowhere. It's kind of a cheat as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, he broke his armband, so he doesn't have his stealth ability. And he's running up top and he's like, did you hear something? No, I didn't hear nothing. So he sees the power grid thing there, I forgot what he called it, the Necros or whatever it is. It's almost like a atomic type of power system that's powering the robots, it's powering their weapons, and he basically explodes it. So it does structural damage to the ship after all. It wasn't just a hinge. Meanwhile, the kids are still down the bottom. They're getting attacked by this big robot. Jace is like, oh my god, I'm going to get crushed by the big robot. And Jan is like, no, do it now. And while the arm is going towards him, and Blip is in this thing with a magnetic pulley, and it attaches to the robot and pulls it up. And Jan realizes that the magnet has totally shorted out the robot. And she's like, I have an idea. Let's get back to the ship. So that's what they do. Meanwhile, the other ship is going down. They're in their ship heading towards it. And they restructured the elemental blaster to do an electromagnetic pulse. And now they're doing a Space Ghost and Johnny Quest called Space Quest. But it's got a totally different writer on it. So I'm not sure. It's Joe Casey, and I think he's the one that did. Not that. If he follows Propose's thing, it might be all right. But he was the one that wrote Johnny Quest, so. Yeah, he is. So we'll see how that goes. So meanwhile, they go towards the ship, and They're like, we're going to shoot you. But then the explosion happens, and he's like, oh my God, I missed. You messed up my aim. And he's like, I'm coming for you. There will nothing stop me. And they get into this big brawl, which does not go well for Metalis. That's for certain. Yeah, Metalis looks like he's in a little bit of trouble there. And he's like, you will not stop me from getting my vengeance. Vengeance of Space Ghost. And then they crash land, which I don't know why they don't get harmed in that big crash landing, but they don't. And they continue fighting, and he puts on these arm things that's made of the same metal, which I guess they took from his planet, of the suit of armor that Metalis is wearing. And he gets this flashback of his daughter and his wife, and he's like breaking arms. There's going to be nothing left of Metalis by the time he's done. He gets a shot to the face. And then he just keeps wailing on the guy. Bam, 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 bam. And finally Jan and Jace show up after they use the electromagnetic pulse on some of the other things and knock them out. And he's like, no, you got to stop. You can't be as bad as he is. And he's like, you're lucky that my family is here. And come on, kids, you're my family now. And that's the end of that. And he basically leaves Metalis there to get collected by the authorities. It's too bad. I was looking forward to Herculoids, but I saw the interior artwork, and it's very cartoony. And it looks like my buddy Mark Spears is doing more stuff for Dynamite, because that's his stuff right there. You see his name. He's the one who did the art for my game, or our game. It's not even mine. It's us together. So yeah, if you're interested in that too, let me know. We're going to be sending that to the manufacturer, so it's going to be fun. But my only disappointment in this is that they really augmented the character and said, Metalis, the villain, and saying how awful he was and whatever else. He's almost like Thanos style, event, of his evilness, and they knock him out in 2 issues. He's done. I think we should have at least gotten one more issue before that big battle happens. But yes, this was for make a movie. Yeah, it just needs to be longer. Give me something more. Give me a little bit more meat to it. I think one more issue would have done it. But yeah, it was really good. And then, no, I don't know. They can't even do a Wonder Woman movie, but I like the idea of this, but she's kind of going off the rails, man. It's kind of going off the rails. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to go to Amazon.com and check out my books. And also go to GreenHornetNoir.com. Also check out the live stream that's going to be happening on Thursday. You can click the link and get notified, but it's going to be on my channel. So if you're give me a like and subscribe. If you're subscribed to my channel, I think it'll come up in your feed anyway. All right. Thanks again for watching, guys, and have a great week. All right. And happy 200th episode. Woo!